Okay, and we're at Gallery Socald in downtown Hamilton in the burgeoning James Street North art area. You may have seen it in one of the many crawls you've doubtlessly been to, and I'm here with artist Paul Elia. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
And Paul, this is you're getting well known for your architectural digital print works, and this is the second quick solo show you've had in a couple of months, right?
Yeah.
Well, you had one in Toronto.
Solo shows, yeah.
Some gallery called Culture Shock.
Yeah.
That's right. and now you're here, and this is an interesting studio gallery, and it's very much as I understand, a co-op. And there's lots of artists working here and hanging out. And it's got terrific coffee as well. So
terrific coffee.
Thank you, Socald, for that. Now, can you? This is a pretty large piece, and I think I've seen lots of your small works, but I think your works are getting larger and larger, and I'm noticing your composition really takes advantage of a large, horizontal based landscape. Can you tell us a little bit about this work?
Well, the reason it's gotten bigger and bigger is mostly because I'm trying to capture what you see when you're standing there, which is so hard to do in just one photograph. And I just think the one photograph just wouldn't do it justice. So I'm trying to capture the feeling of standing there with that full panoramic view of what's in front of us.
It has a very almost propaganda feel. With sort of the lights streaking across the sky, and they're bringing your eyes in through the composition, and there's like construction going on. But you look at it a little closer, and it's, it's not quite this glorious building sort of composition that you would expect to see in some sort of condo development poster or commercial stock imagery. But there's little hints of graffiti in the corner of the fence.
This piece especially was all about that, because this is a really trendy area to buy a condo in right now. But it happens to be in a very industrial manufacturing area of Toronto that's being converted. So as you can see, the train tracks are literally right in front of these houses. So that is passing constantly. There's still a slaughterhouse beside the buildings here. So
it's active?
Yeah. So the truck full of pigs drives by all the time, and you hear the screaming. The entire neighborhood smells like pig shit. It's a very bizarre, there's a lot of tensions going on, but at the core of it are these adorable, cutesy little townhouses, being built up. And actually, since this was done, there are 4 more towers behind these townhouses now.
Oh, and this is what happens when people don't drive around their area first. You have to buy the area, maybe not the house.
Exactly.
Buy the area. So these people apparently enjoy pigs. And while their bacon will be fresh, I guess. Look, this is I don't know what the kind of style to call this. It's not quite a photorealism. It's like this super flat realism.
Yeah, super flat. That's a great word.
Well, yeah, that sort of describes a bit of the anime sort of scene with the sort of very flat, intense kind of colors used. This is more of a your works are a bit more muted, I think, in general. Can you tell us a little bit about your process and how you make these works from beginning to end?
Well, from the very beginning, the pieces start as photographs. So this piece here would have been a photograph for each house.
Okay.
And then the photos are brought into the computer and stitched together to create the panoramic. And then I'm painting over, I zoom in very close, and I'm painting over the entire stitched together photograph to create this sort of super flat, illustrative style.
Yeah, it's got this eerie realism, but maybe it's just the fact that it's got everything as a focal point. There's nothing blurred, and so you get this super ego presence of the buildings themselves, presenting themselves.
No focal point. The whole strip is the focal point. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I know your work is very popular with architects too.
It has been. And people are always asking me if I'm civil engineer, urban planner.
Well, I think it's probably a good time to start talking a little bit about the title of the show, RustBelt, because I know urban renewal and decay and development and condominiums are the issues surrounding that for people like us living in and around this area, at least of Toronto, in the Niagara Peninsula. It's a daily fact of life. It's something you're presented with every day, and there's significant changes always going on. There's the issues of gentrification are very real for artists. Can you tell us a little bit what it means, like by the term Rust Belt?
Yeah, well, I came up with that term just because I've been exploring, like you said, all these southern Ontario cities that have been dealing with these very similar issues. Whether they've reached the point of gentrification or not, like they're all these cities are in different phases. So that's why, and I find something so beautiful and ugly at the same time, but how the buildings themselves are reflecting the battle that's happening with manufacturing economy. Just the state of the buildings and the state of the streets are expressing what's going on in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and some of the history of the city and much of the working class build up that a lot of these beautiful brick Victorian homes were subject to. And speaking of like development and buildings disappearing, a lot of your works are of buildings that are gone.
Exactly.
They've been demolished, neglected for years, and then demolished.
Almost, what they're calling it is demolition by neglect.
Demolition by neglect.
So there's these developers who are buying, this is an example in Brantford, who bought up this whole block and let it fall into such a state of disrepair. It sat there empty for years and years and years and is now gone. To be, I don't know.
A shopping
we're not
mall,
sure
maybe?
yet.
Yeah.
Maybe something with the school, I'm not sure. But yeah, a bunch of the pieces are gone by the time they're printed and framed. It is no longer there.
And great again about your work. I mean, it's just you can start at one end and work to the other, and there's like it's infinite detail. In a sense. It's very rewarding to let your eye rest in the nooks and crannies and see the windows and the openings, a little bit of decay and the brickwork.
Before, I'm trying to capture exactly what it feels like to stand there and look at it. Where every detail is there, all competing for your attention, it's all there. And I didn't want to remove any of it because every piece of it seemed to be part of the story.
See, you must have your nose pressed to the computer screen for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, the longer and the bigger they get, they keep getting bigger and longer, that's for sure.
So you're a Hamilton-based artist, and you moved down here 4 years ago?
No, almost 3 years ago.
Almost 3 years ago.
We've
and
been here.
There's been a lot of change here, but this is very much a part of there's a lot of buildings here that we make beautiful studios.
Oh yeah.
And schools. And they're in the process of being demolished via neglect as well.
There's been a number of examples of that. The theater that I did, the Century Theater, is a perfect example. A beautiful old building that stood there for a very long time empty, and again was demolished by neglect, but would have made an incredible art hub, theater, again, whatever, studios. It was an incredible structure.
And you talked me into coming to Hamilton. Or you were
initially
telling me how much
I'm pimping it out to everyone.
And getting a 10% commission, I guess, which is not much because the real estate values here are amazingly cheap.
That's what drew us in the first place.
Yeah.
It's something you can't find anywhere else. To be in such an urban center so close to Toronto, to get the value of home that you get for the price, there's nothing else like it.
And I hear the term from a lot of artists and cultural class people here saying critical mass. There just has to be enough people here to affect some changes in lifestyle and priorities in the city.
Which is why I dragged you.
Which is why you dragged me.
Because we're creating the critical mass.
There's like 5 million people behind me. It's an army, but right now it seems kind of lonely in Barton Village.
Yeah. Well, I warned you about being that far east.
Well, someday it'll be worth it. But I certainly am enjoying Hamilton, and the artists I already know who I've discovered are here already. It seems like it's a special place. There's a lot of people moving here.
Just in the 3 years that I've lived here, the amount of things I've seen changing and growing, it's astounding. And it's just been incredible to be part of it. Like at this point, we know practically all our neighbors. We're part of our neighborhood association. I've shown in a number of galleries at the Art Crawl. It's very friendly, warm place, approachable. It's been amazing.
Paul, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.